What's good, YouTube? Damn. Why am I slurring? All right, what's up, YouTube? I'm reacting to I tested the world's weirdest hotels. I watched one of his videos before, and I really thought it was entertaining, so I wanted to bring that reaction to my Twitch channel, to YouTube, and to y'all watching this on YouTube. So we're gonna react to it. Title basically describes what's going on, and you can see SpongeBob in the background. So get into it.
Hotels, like hotels with slide entrances, futuristic resorts with robot workers.
Once I get my phone to wherever she wants. Bro, you're the man, bro. You're supposed to pick where I live, bro.
It's some of the most unique places you can stay in.
Who makes the most money?
Because over the last 2 years, I've made it my goal to visit over 100 of the world's weirdest hotels. But I've never stopped to decide which hotels are actually worth your money. So I created George, a trophy for the best weird hotel.
What the hell?
I'll be sending it to my favorite hotel that we visit in this video. Starting with a hotel room that has an airplane next to your bed.
Like, this used to really be a fully functioning flying airplane.
Even the inside is intact with a real cockpit
and
and seats for passengers. The bedroom itself is super normal, actually really nice.
But things really get crazy when you go inside the plane and see all the seats and a cabin just like on any normal airplane.
This is cool. It's crazy to imagine at one point in time passengers were sitting in these very seats, flying somewhere around the world.
This room definitely gives you plenty of storage for your bags. You can pull up the windows.
I just had an argument with somebody about that.
Anyone need snacks?
Yeah,
can I have some caviar? We don't have that.
Then of course you can climb into the cockpit. Oh, this is so sick.
You know, I've always wanted to fly a plane. I just didn't think it would be in a hotel room.
I feel like this is every kid's dream.
Attention passengers, please prepare for takeoff.
It's not going anywhere.
But there's still so much more to see if you just walk out the other side of the plane.
Because you have this massive living room area with another TV.
Nah, this is fire, bro.
And around the corner, yet another room.
I tried to use the coffee machine, but I might have broken it. Never mind, I guess it worked.
When you check into the room, they give you this airplane-themed lunchbox. And I guess inside are accessories for a projector. Because
you can just pull this down and
there's a projector screen inside the airplane, so you can watch movies or TikTok.
I always wanted to watch TikTok inside an airplane, inside a hotel room.
Why is it so loud?
it was actually super fun.
I love this room. There's so many random hidden rooms.
Like, here's the first bathroom.
This one's really small.
Another bathroom?
That bathroom is tiny. It's gotta be overseas. That's 100%
At least there is
overseas.
one normal bathroom with a shower.
This really might be the weirdest hotel room I've ever stayed in. What's funny is the rest of this hotel is just totally normal. All the other guests in the hotel have no idea what's above them. This one suite is just super special. But I think the most surprising thing about this hotel room is that it's only about $300 a night for what might be the largest hotel room I've ever stayed in. What do you think?
I think bro missed the runway, honestly.
But later I learned you can pre-order room service breakfast.
Basically, you just fill out this form, choose what you want to order, and then hang it on your front door the night before.
Good morning, Amsterdam.
300 a night for
Someone
like
from the hotel brought this feast to the room, but there was only one place that made sense to eat it.
Good morning. Would you like any breakfast on your flight?
I'm okay.
I have some chocolate croissants here, or cinnamon rolls, or maybe this loaf of bread. It's actually way softer than it sounds.
Outside of the really weird bathroom situation, I've never been in a hotel where you get this much space all to yourself for just $300 a night. So it's totally worth it.
But there are a lot of weird
$300
hotels we
a
have to
night
get to in this video. And next
airplane,
I'm flying all the way to North Carolina to check out a strange Airbnb in the mountains. Actually, it turns out there's an entire neighborhood of weird Airbnbs up here.
I feel like I've gone to weird hotel heaven.
There's a lot for us to see here, but first,
This is my hotel for the night. It might look like a normal tent to you, which is fair. It does look like a very normal tent. But for one night here, I paid $709. But trust me, I think it's going to be worth it.
because when you open up this tent, you'll find a slide. And if you ride it, it'll take you down to your really large Airbnb. It's way bigger than it looks on the outside.
Time for the tour. So right when you get off of the slide, there's your bed.
Yeah, it's very comfortable.
Looks very comfortable. But there's also a couch. There's a fuzzy chair. There is a TV. And you even get a fridge and a microwave. Many owls and Harry Potter
You
glasses.
wouldn't catch me there for 700 a night.
How do I look?
It's no way.
And the host has given us
How you
a
get
bowl
back
of
up?
free
No,
snacks.
real.
But there's
Real, how do
still
you
way
get back
more
up?
because outside you get a cliffside campsite.
You have like a whole patio,
That's kinda
fire
cool, though.
pit with outdoor seating. And
But,
this
like,
entire
why is it all
other tent,
leaning,
I
bro?
don't even know what's in that tent. Like, it could be literally anything. There's only one way to find out. It's like a little game room. Here there's like a really tiny bench.
A
fuzzy
little
chairs,
game
a
room?
baby globe,
Where's the games,
an
bro?
Explorer, and just in case you didn't have enough nature already, a fake tree. Driving down here, I passed so many crazy looking tree houses and Airbnbs that honestly I didn't know existed. So I kind of want to go for a walk and explore the neighborhood.
One,
700 a
I
night,
didn't
bro.
know
No
any
way
of
in
these
hell you
Airbnbs
can. I'll do
existed
that.
when I booked this place. So right now I know as much about them as you guys do. So future Drew in the voiceover is going to give you all the information about them. Anyways, let's explore a neighborhood of weird Airbnbs. You guys fell over, and that literally just cracked my phone.
Whoops.
Anyways, here's the first Airbnb I found.
It looks like a giant orange treehouse. Here's what future Drew can tell you about it.
One
Apparently
game,
it's
no,
called
literally.
the Steampunk Treehouse. It kind of just has gears and stuff covering the walls, and it costs $576 for one night.
Blah, 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 blah. Oh. Wow, that's cool. Okay, next I found this pink Airbnb.
Inside is basically a pink paradise. Like everything is
I don't
pink.
think I'm
It
staying
costs
in any of them.
$600
Per night.
It's no way.
Next, there's this thing. It
That's
looks
cool,
like
though.
a spaceship. Honestly, maybe the
Star Wars
coolest
thing, ain't it?
looking Airbnb I've ever seen.
I kind of regret not booking this because it's basically a supervillain secret lair. Like, look at this bedroom.
and it only costs $598 a night.
Wow, that's amazing.
Only.
This is
Like,
a
what are we
castle
talking
house.
about, bro?
One day when I get a house, I want it to look like
That
this,
is
but I
cool.
also want a water slide too, and a swimming pool, and a trampoline. Important things.
But I had to get back to my tent before dark because apparently bears are really common in this area. Like, they just
Oh,
stroll
hell
through
no.
town. So I'm not taking any chances.
That never gets old. So it's getting kind of late, and I'll be honest with you guys.
How
I'm
did he
tired
get
now.
back
So
up,
my
though?
plan is simple. It's time to get snacks in and then relax in. Let's do it. That would definitely stop a bear. The door's locked. So far, no bears.
You gotta be trolling.
Good morning, blah. It's like 6:50 in the morning, and it's almost time to leave this place. But there's a few things we need to do first.
I made coffee and found the tent's guest book. I've honestly never stayed in an Airbnb
book.
with such a cool entrance, not to mention the incredible view from the
Bears.
mountains. So I don't know what weird hotel could beat this one. I'm giving it a 9.5. And I'm gonna miss my
9.5?
tent, but it's time we go meet back up
Can't be.
with Sam
Can't
in
be
Florida.
If we're talking weird,
This
that's
is the
not.
electronic ice castle. It
don't
looks like a
think that
normal
would be
house
weird.
on the outside, but apparently it's actually the world's weirdest mansion. And that's because one night can cost over $1,000. It's expensive, and you're about to see why.
And it turns out this house would blow away all our expectations.
The first thing you see when you walk in is a massive indoor
See, that's not
arcade.
weird.
It
That's
has
fire.
a giant Transformers
That's fire.
robot,
What the
air
hell?
hockey, racing games, and basketball. I guess Sam didn't have the best luck. So I had to take a turn. But it's
No, this
no
one might be
competition,
worth
really.
1,000.
What can I say?
That
Across the hall
might
from
be
the
1,000
arcade is
just
the
based
first
off that.
bedroom, and if you can't tell, it's ghost themed.
Basically,
Like,
every
look at all
room in this
that.
house was designed around a different movie.
This first room's mostly normal, except there's giant Ghostbuster ghosts on the wall and slime dripping down from the ceiling. We're 2 rooms in, and this house is already insane. And up next is
literally.
the ET room.
It makes you feel like you're in nature and there's a life-size ET on the wall.
The design of the room and all the plants makes it feel like you're outside. If I slept in this room, I think I'd be afraid ET would just start talking to me in the middle of the night. And that was all just the entryway, because next you can walk through to the living room. This is easily the largest Airbnb I've ever booked for a video. The listing says this house can sleep 20 people, and I definitely can see that. There's still a lot more bedrooms for us to explore, and it feels like just the kitchen and the dining room alone, there's enough space for like an entire school.
Up next is the Back to the Future room, which is complete with a time machine. To be honest, I haven't actually seen
Nah,
Back to the
this-
Future,
this-
but this
this
room makes me
Airbnb
think I
is
should.
cool.
But everything
It's
really
cool.
starts getting exciting when you go up the stairs. Because right when you get upstairs, you can walk down this hall to the second arcade. This is more like a retro arcade, and it looks mostly normal.
But one of these arcade machines has a pretty big secret. Sadly, I'm bad at all of them.
These games are hard.
But the best
Bro,
part of the
this
arcade
is-
is behind this
oh,
machine here.
Because if you pull it out, you'll reveal a secret room filled with capsule hotels and a flat screen TV. As a kid, this would have been like my dream room.
I love capsule
Bro,
hotels because they're
literally.
kind of like bunk beds, but you still get privacy. Plus, the capsule hotels here even give you your own TV. And these are pretty advanced.
You can grab a remote and turn on your favorite streaming service or YouTube.
There's like a clock, there's a mirror. Would you sleep in one of these?
Yeah, this looks like really roomy.
And there are 4 of these, so this house really can sleep a lot of people. Plus, this room has a real-life Tron bike you can ride.
No, whoever
Kind
did this
of.
Airbnb got.
But there's
money.
actually still more to the arcade,
Got money.
because if you walk through that door, you'll see the house has its own private movie theater with a PlayStation and an Xbox and tons of super luxurious seats. This is probably my favorite room in the house. It looks super futuristic in here. You can just recline your chair, play video games.
This is so nice.
I love this house.
Of course, I had to try gaming on a movie screen for the first time. I just didn't play very well. But there are still more bedrooms we need to explore.
I don't even remember which number we're on. There's so many bedrooms in this house. But this room is entirely baseball themed. Instead of a carpet, there's fake grass.
It's kind of fun to walk on.
The walls were designed to make you feel like you're outside. There's a bench and baseballs all around the
Sandlot.
room. And a larger than life size Hercules the dog. If you're bored, you can even open the fence and hang out with him. This dog is literally bigger than me. Our next somewhat normal room is Home Alone themed. Did I say Home Alone?
But in this room, it's Christmas every day, as they've perfectly recreated the bedroom from the movie.
This is like the comfiest bed I've ever been on.
But this next one might be the craziest bedroom I've ever seen in a house.
You enter an ice-themed
What the
Frozen with
hell,
bunk
bro?
beds and life-size Frozen character
Bro, this will literally make your dog
This
like
is
day.
my favorite room of this whole house. Look at this! Look at this snowflake!
And it's designed to look just like real snow and ice on the walls.
It's cool in here. I
No,
feel like
whoever
this
did this
room
got
would
money,
give you the
bro.
best
They
night's
did their
sleep.
thing with
These
this
beds
house.
kind of feel like capsule hotel beds
I ain't
if they
gonna
were
lie.
just in an ice cave.
Not bad.
You want to know what else is really cool?
There's a ball pit between the beds.
Definitely never been in any Airbnb with a ball pit before.
I think I'm stuck.
I'm leaving you.
No, help.
You know what's crazy?
What?
We finish each other's.
Sentences? And this is the last bedroom. It's like just girl themed.
Better view.
It sound hard as
Way
hell.
bouncier than I expected.
So one night in this house costs just over $1,000, which actually is not bad when you think of how many people could sleep here. But will the electronic ice castle
Low-key,
win
straight up,
George? Give it like a 8 out of 10.
But now let's move on because there are a lot more crazy hotels for us to get to, and our next one's in New York City.
This is the Jane Hotel, which opened over 100 years ago.
3 stars,
Originally, it was
2.5
built as a hotel for
stars.
sailors, and back then, one night would cost just about 25 cents. So prices have really changed over time. I paid about $200 for one night here, so let's go find our room.
Bro, that's not
I wasn't
bad.
really sure what to expect from a hotel so old, and I started getting a little nervous.
Very dark in here.
The moment the elevator door opens, it feels like you're walking right into a scary movie.
I'm gonna be honest, this is the scariest hotel hallway I've ever
Bro,
seen.
this
I don't
hotel
think it's
is
changed at
skinny.
all since it opened over 100 years ago.
And I honestly couldn't believe what I saw when I opened the door.
Come check this out.
The entire room is the size of a closet.
This is all you get.
It's so small that I can
Okay,
touch
200
both
is
walls at
crazy.
the same time.
I'm short.
Yeah,
I've
hell
never
no,
been
bro.
able to say that before. So there's your bed. It's a twin bed. Maybe the bed itself is 100 years old.
I mean, it is kind of cozy.
You get an old alarm clock, radio,
Nah, bro,
and
that's
a window
literally-
so you have some connection.
What is this, equivalent to the
You
sailor
get an old
room?
phone to call the front desk in case you have any questions. I don't think it's for room service. I don't think they have room service here. You do get some storage, bottom drawer with a safe, and a top drawer for your stuff. You get a really long mirror.
200 a night out in
Not much. Maybe you would call this the living room. It's the floor. This is all the walking area.
It's like
you
a-
have.
Again, this
4
hotel
by
was
2,
originally
bro.
built for sailors back in the 1900s. So I think they kind of designed the rooms to feel like you're in a ship cabin.
It isn't the most modern
That's what I was-
TV,
that's
but it
what I was
works.
thinking.
Behind the bed, you have a lamp. You can turn it on and off with this knob. Oh, whoops, the lamp might be old too. So you might notice that they give you towels, but obviously there's no bathroom in this room. There's barely anything in this room. And that's because, of course, you have to share your bathroom.
So I went
Ew,
out,
hell
back into
no.
the scary halls, and found the bathroom.
There's 2 toilets, 2 showers, and 2 sinks.
I don't really mind this room or the fact that you have to share a bathroom. I honestly think this room is pretty cozy. I could sleep well in here. What I have a problem with
Oh,
is that
bueno.
this room cost me
Share a
$200 per night. It's overpriced, man.
Well, first.
So maybe the Jane
Maybe
Hotel makes you share a
70 towels,
shower, but back in Amsterdam, there's one hotel that is even worse.
This is our next hotel. It's called the Fletcher Hotel, and for about 150 euros a night, you
And
can
these are
stay in a
4
hotel
stars.
room with a really weird bathroom situation.
It's gone viral for having a shower in the middle of the hotel room with zero privacy. I couldn't believe it, and I just wanted to know how bad it could actually be. And it turns out it's pretty bad.
This is definitely not
I
a
mean,
hotel
if
room
you're
you can
there
share
with,
with
like-
friends.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. If it's like your spouse, then
privacy at
okay, it's
all.
cool.
Turn
But
on.
anybody else, nah.
Right now? If you don't close the blinds, anyone from outside could literally see you showering. This feels wrong.
It kind of feels like you're inside a soda can, but otherwise it's just a normal shower.
How would you rate this bed?
It's like a good 6 out of 10. Oh, that's a 10 out of 10 pillow.
I guess they do
Whoa.
brag about their pillows. You can buy one for 25 euros.
Of course, the room comes with a TV.
There's a little table
That's a
by the
tiny
window,
TV.
coffee maker, and this extremely tall plant. What type of plant even is this? Between the giant alien plant, shower in the middle of the room, and whatever this masterpiece
Shower
work of
is
art
kinda
is
cool,
above the
though, I like
bed,
it a lot.
whoever designed this room really had some interesting ideas. On TikTok, a lot of people wanted to know, where's the toilet? Imagine if the toilet was the same way. No, the toilet's actually in here. There is a real door.
But before going to
So
bed
you
and
get
moving on
privacy
to our
for the
next
toilet, but
hotel,
that
we
was
stumbled
about-
on the coolest museum of all time. It's a complete recreation of SpongeBob's town of Bikini Bottom.
I've always wanted to come here.
I hope Gary's inside.
We're about to find out because someone literally built a perfect recreation of SpongeBob's house, including the details of his
What
living
the
room. SpongeBob's
heck?
there, just staring at you. You can sit next to Gary in SpongeBob's chair. It's just not very comfortable. And then across the hall is the Krusty Krab,
that's cool.
with Squidward not looking too happy.
The older you get, the more relatable Squidward becomes. No, SpongeBob.
Squidward really hates his job.
You and him don't have that in common.
His head is massive.
You and him have that in common.
Inside, you can sit at the tables and pretend to eat Krabby Patties.
Doesn't taste good.
Of course, you can pretend to do SpongeBob's job behind Squidward. There's even a Krabby Patty vault, just like the show. It's actually comfy. But that's all still
was
just the
cool.
beginning of what they've built. You can
Wow,
go
they did their
jellyfish
thing with
catching
this,
with
bro.
Patrick, but it's way harder than it looks on TV.
You almost got it.
Squidward's house.
They've built a perfect replica of it, and if you walk inside, you'll see an entire museum of his artwork. They've collected hundreds of his masterpieces for you to
I was
look
gonna say,
at
let's
and
see all the ones he
admire.
actually painted.
Very impressive work.
What the
You can tell the
heck?
artist really took his time with this one. It's quite a masterpiece. Some of Squidward's more abstract work. You know, life always isn't as exciting as it seems.
Oh, brother, this guy sucks.
If you're curious, this is how I pack when I go to film videos.
One massive backpack.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's like twice my
My
weight.
camera's
But
done.
I think I'd give the Fletcher Hotel like a
Gross.
7. So I'm ready for an upgrade back in Orlando at
The Aventura Hotel. This hotel is all about being futuristic.
and it's also insanely windy.
It didn't turn back on,
really
hello?
windy today.
But anyways, I came here because you can find one thing that isn't at any other hotel in Florida. But first, we have to go find our room. I paid just over $160 for one night here.
So here's our room. The main feature of the room is
Hey,
that
that's
you
better
control
than the
everything with
$200
this
one with
iPad.
nothing but
You
a
can change the
sailor
lighting,
room.
You can control the temperature. Here's your TV playing a loop of Universal Studios commercials.
You can even watch the roller coasters go by from your window.
Super nice bathroom.
And the bed,
Ooh, I like this
Why is
bed.
that camera not
There's just
turning
one
on,
real
hello?
reason I came here.
if you pick up the phone in the room, you can just call the front desk and ask for something crazy.
I have
It's working.
relacing up some towels.
Because there's a robot that works for this hotel that can deliver you anything.
Of course, this should be up in about 20 minutes or less.
Awesome, thanks so much.
And after just a few moments, there he was. He just stops at your door, makes a sound, and opens his lid so you can take whatever you ordered. Then he's done his job and can turn around to go back to the elevator.
Come on, buddy. Figured I'd just take the elevator with him after you.
I guess there's a system for him to call the elevator just by himself, and then when the doors open, he knows to just roll inside. Oh, that sounded like it hurt. You know, Relay doesn't talk too much for a robot, but he gets the job done. It's actually kind of impressive how fast he can move.
Back to work.
And just like that, he'll go back to the front desk to move on to his next delivery. But before tomorrow's hotel, let's
Nah,
go meet
that's
a
kinda
robot
cool.
worker that's a little more talkative.
So this place is famous because apparently it has a robot waiter with the most personality in the world.
I have to work. Otherwise, I'll be fired.
And right when you walk in, you'll see it. Apparently it costs $16,000 for a restaurant to buy one.
That's our waiter, Peanut.
She's cute.
Go, go, go. Oh, Peanut is looking for a toast. A wonderful journey together with you.
Takes us to
Bro,
our
what the
seats.
yapper, bro?
Here to just start moving like that.
See, Peanut's job is to drop us off at our table and then go back to work.
We are.
Oh, this is just drops
Unless
him
you
off
block
at the
its
table.
way.
Get out of the way, please. Otherwise, I will become angry.
Bro,
Did it just
hey, eyes are single-handedly gonna
Robots never
take your
yelled at me
job, bro.
before.
What the
But here
hell?
you just get your soup, pick out your favorite ingredients, toss them in the pot to start cooking, and then enjoy your food.
It's just a
That is
soup
good
place.
and spicy.
Hard
We had
pass,
such
bro.
a good time eating here, and you'll even
Hard
see
pass.
Peanut drive by your table every now and then doing its job.
Hey, Peanut.
She remembers you from being in her way earlier.
But after your main course,
What the
this
hell?
totally different robot will bring you ice cream.
Bye.
That was so cute. Can we come here every day?
How would you rate
Bro,
you
got
and
ego,
me?
bro,
on a
bro
robot
got ego
restaurant?
by a bot, bro.
Experience wise, 10 out of 10. The food was like 8 out of 10.
But it's time we go to our next hotel.
Where?
That's the
Well, it's
most
actually
random
not
place
too
ever to
far,
have
but
like
it looks a little
all the
strange
robots.
because...
Did you know you can buy an entire house on Amazon? Like there's this one on Amazon that's $39,000. Well, that's exactly what this is.
Kind of. This one's not on Amazon, but they do build it in a warehouse, put it on a truck, and then drop it off at your property, making this
Florida's first 3D printed tiny home. And you can literally buy one for $35,000.
But of course, I just booked one night for about 150 bucks.
It has like a toilet and
$50
everything,
cheap,
though, right?
We're about to find out. Let's go inside.
I've actually never stayed in a tiny home before, and this one is extra tiny.
First thing when you walk in, there's like a baby desk and a microwave. Also, there's this little button. It just looks like a sticker, but if you press it, it turns the lights on and off. Little coffee maker, coffee supplies, fruit snacks.
I have it.
Plenty of seasoning if you want to cook. There's no place to cook. There's just a microwave. And popcorn.
Imagine how stressful it would be if you burnt it in this small little house.
And then right past the desk is your bed.
Like
And the
really
bathroom's
cozy.
behind
There's a toilet in the same room as the shower, so you could.
No way.
Yes.
Turns out she's right. The shower is right next to the toilet.
The bathroom is basically the size of a closet. Probably the smallest Airbnb bathroom I've ever seen. But considering
least
it's
it's
a
cool,
3D
though.
printed home, what do you expect?
We just relaxed for a while and played around with the TV.
This is the control panel at the front of the house. With this, you can turn off the lights, or if you need privacy, close the blinds. The more time I spend in
cool.
here, the more I feel like it's actually
Low-key
pretty
hella
nice.
cozy.
Even though you have
Nah, it does
enough
look
air
pretty cool,
conditioning,
though.
it still kind of feels like
Yeah,
you're
you just
camping
get that as
because you
little
can just see
house
nature
for
all
like,
around
so you got a big house,
3D
you get
printed
that,
tiny house,
like
or
a
a
friend
really
or
cool
something.
concept. And we actually had a really good time here. Maybe it's the future of homes. Maybe the next step is a 3D printed mansion. And there are probably so many cool locations around the world you could put homes like these. But I don't think tiny house is gonna win George. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. But since we're in Florida,
That got a
there's one place I have
6,
to
but the
take
other
Sam.
place got a 9.
Restaurants on the planet in Disney World.
You about to make me mad, bro.
You kind of look like I'm.
We came here to try a restaurant called Space 220, which apparently lets you eat in outer space.
If you come here for lunch, do you say it's launch time? Because you.
That joke really took off. So the first place you go in the restaurant is to this like space station waiting area.
Here they give you a boarding pass, and then you walk into a space
I mean, it don't have
elevator.
to be so big,
It's basically
though.
a mini ride that takes you right up to the restaurant. And then just after a few minutes, we've arrived. Up here they have a space farm. Yeah, this is definitely not your normal dining experience.
Already, this is like the coolest
What
restaurant
happened
I've
to
ever
be
been
in a
to.
hotel, bro? Why we in a restaurant?
No, it's our first time in space.
We are 220 miles above Epcot. You travel pretty far to get here.
The host brings you to the dining area with the craziest view you'll ever see, because there are massive floor-to-ceiling screens, or windows showing Earth.
This is super cool.
It is cool.
Space water would be great. Thank you.
Immediately it was
water.
clear this restaurant was special.
Yeah, they
Like
playing
you can
it-
watch
they playing
spaceships
it real
fly by
perfect,
while you're
bro.
waiting for your food. We both got
This
the
is a
space
perfect
steak
space.
with space
Perfect
potatoes.
Place.
It was good, but I've had better
For
down
you
on Earth.
kids.
But then they served me a literal planet for dessert.
This shit not real.
And this was tasty.
That's good.
But now let's take the elevator back down to Earth and to our next hotel, which
think
is
that's
also futuristic, and it's back
Wait,
in
what
New
he
York
gave a
City.
9.5
We're staying at the
and didn't say
Yotel,
so.
which tries to do things very differently from the standard hotel. Because first there's a bag storage robot working in the lobby. You just activate it on this iPad, drop off your bag, and watch it get to work. It's pretty fun to watch. But I paid over $700 to spend one night here, so I'm really hoping the room is just as advanced.
700.
Immediately, this feels like one of the larger hotel rooms I've ever been in.
It's
It kinda
like a
looks more like an
penthouse type.
apartment than a hotel room. So first, there's the living room, the large couch, and floor-to-ceiling windows all around. There's a purple rug, purple pillows, this random purple thing under the TV, purple bench, random artwork, and the living room even has a workout bike with a view of New York City. That is
Valid.
something I've never seen in a hotel room before.
Valid.
Past the bike is the bedroom, and here you
Oh,
get a
it's kinda
circular
tough.
bed with futuristic purple lighting, and you have a bedroom TV. Down the hall from the bedroom is your bathroom. Honestly, I was not expecting how large this hotel room is. Because we're staying in a futuristic hotel concept
Based
for
on
dinner, I
everything
figured
he's
we'd
doing
try a
and going,
futuristic
it makes
restaurant.
sense.
But first, let's explore the hotel.
First, there's like the Yotel shop and bar.
There's a large empty area with these
What
things.
the hell?
I don't know what they're supposed to be. It's actually really terrifying.
Like, what is that? But before dinner, I had to visit one of my favorite hotel chains in the world. It's called the Henna Hotel.
Which literally means weird hotel in Japanese. I've been to a few of them in Japan, and for some reason they love to use robot workers too. And this one here has one of the most realistic robot T-Rexes I've ever seen.
Because the second you walk into the lobby, just turn to your right and you might be terrified. This thing is huge, moves non-stop, and sounds just like a real dinosaur. It's easy to forget it's a robot. It's not as cool as the Japanese robots that'll help you check into your room. It won't help you check into your room or take your bags, but it's still something you won't find in any other hotel.
But we're not staying here because sadly the rooms are just totally normal.
Whereas our next hotel
Come
is
on,
very
bruh.
not normal. But
gotta
first,
stop
it's
saying
dinner
this
time.
BS.
At this restaurant, you can enjoy a nice dinner.
Why are we at a
without
restaurant
talking
instead of
to
a
a single
hotel?
person. First, you just order your food on the iPad, and then bring your receipt to one of these private eating areas.
So the idea is pretty simple. They take the receipt, prepare your ramen, then they open this curtain and give you your food. It's pretty cool and kind of sad too.
And just like that, you're alone again with your thoughts and your food.
This actually looks so good. It's a little weird being
T-Rex
all
will play with
alone.
me.
And like
Bro,
a
the
little
T-Rex is
cubby.
gonna pick
It's also
you
kind
up
of nice.
with his teeth.
No one's looking at
Throw
you.
you 20 feet
You
in
just
the
enjoy
air.
good ramen.
But call you a good snack, bro. Why are we in a hotel? Why are we eating, bro?
Your room, you just have to go down this super long.
Alright, bro, we're skipping
Because in the
this.
morning,
We're getting straight to the point,
I got
bro.
to
I'm
eat
tired
at
of
the
eating
Clink.
restaurants.
It's a restaurant where you get to eat right next to the old, real prison cells.
That was weird.
But at least the coffee was good. But now we're going back to New York again to stay at an airport hotel.
This
Okay,
hotel was
thank you.
literally
I like your
designed to
hotel.
make you feel like you're time traveling back to 1962.
Originally, this was actually built as an airport, and it's been preserved extremely well over the years.
Back then, a hotel room cost us $15 per night. So let's head inside and see what hotels in the 60s were like.
The T-Rex in that headlock.
Just checking in.
Bro, your arm
To
isn't
get to
even
your room,
reaching
you just have
across
to go down this super
an inch
long
of his
red
neck,
tunnel.
bro.
Just long and empty.
Then just try not to miss the elevator. For my one-night stay here, I paid just under $400. So let's see what we get.
Welcome to the 1960s. There's just a few things we have to do. Now that's more like it. Let's do a room tour. First thing you see when you walk in is the desk. They even give you a real magazine from the 1960s. Instead of having a trash can in the bedroom, they just have this little area on the desk. It's a little weird. There's this large cup of pencils they give you. That's new. I haven't seen that in a hotel before. Then of course there's your bed and TV.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, no shoes on the bed.
Also inaccurate but useful, there's a wireless charger next to the bed. Those definitely didn't exist in the 60s. There's this cool vintage chair and this really old phone. Hello?
Yes, they are, you know.
That
Bro,
sounded
you're
so
gonna be him
satisfying.
and
But by far the best part of the hotel room is the view. For a little bit extra per night, you can have a view of the airport runway. And don't worry, they built this hotel with the sound in mind. They have extra thick windows and walls, so you can't hear the planes taking off and landing all the time. There's a lot we have to do. But first, this hotel is huge. So let's go explore it.
First off, I've never been in a hotel where every detail makes you feel like you're back in time.
Right when you walk into the airport, you see this massive departure board telling you all the flights that are coming and going from New York. This uses real physical letters that move by themselves.
That is so cool.
Next to the departure board is the food hall where you can come any time of day and eat. Very important part of the hotel. Apparently the hotel has a bunch of real cars from the 60s.
They have an old Lincoln that could cost over $90,000 today, a microbus that would cost around $70K, and this red Fiat that has literally sold for over $100,000.
Oh yeah.
cars, bro.
But that's just the beginning of this hotel because there's also a twister room. Why does this room exist? Walking in this room made me feel like I was in a dream.
There's even a replica of a 1960s hair salon.
I tried to see if their machine still worked, but
I don't have enough hair for this.
And there's a perfect replica of the CEO's office from back in the day.
Yes, bring me my lunch. Yes, fire 100 employees. Yes, acquire a small country. This is kind of fun. This also might be the only hotel on earth that still has phone booths. To be honest, I don't even know how to use these.
But then I discovered an event was going on in the main lobby.
There's even a wedding. I kind of feel like I shouldn't be here.
So instead, I decided to explore the hotel's TWA shop, selling $75 construction hats, $80 sneakers, and one of the most overpriced things I've ever seen.
Is this clock $700?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Apparently it's supposed to be, I'm supposed to try to sell it to you.
Oh, okay. Has anyone bought one?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually sold out.
No way.
Yeah, I swear.
People like them.
People love it. They get it.
That's a lot of money for a
Push
clock.
anybody to get it.
No, I'm with you.
She gonna lose her job.
There was
for that,
no
bro.
way I was buying that. So instead, I decided to check out the hotel's real plane preserved from the 1960s.
Hell.
Apparently the airplane's name is Connie. Why it has a name, I couldn't tell you. It really puts into perspective how big planes are when you stand next to the blade. Just the blade is like twice my height.
Apparently, Connie was built in 1939 and actually was used as Air Force One for the president in the 1950s. But now it's just a museum and a lounge for the hotel. The cockpit's still in good shape, although it doesn't work. But other than not being able to fly, Connie is exactly how she was back in the 1960s.
Honestly, the seats were more comfortable back then. I could sleep in this chair. I don't even need my hotel room.
Back then.
And we're back in the room. I gotta say, as someone who loves to travel, this room has like my dream view.
Wait,
I have a view of some of the largest airplanes in the world. Those two planes are literally among the largest airplanes on the planet. And for context, those are your normal airplanes that'll fly across America, but these planes take you around the world. So I'm really looking forward to just sitting on my bed and watching the planes fly tonight.
Yeah.
I took a little nap, watched some basketball and airplanes. Life is good. It's getting late, I'm kind of tired, but I haven't eaten yet. And I think there's only one option in this hotel. It's called the Paris Cafe. And my only concern is the reviews online just are not great at all. It has like 3.5 stars. And that's because one person said this is the worst restaurant they ever dined at, and another person said this is the worst dinner they ever had. And these are real reviews. One night here only costs about $150.
Like,
but
why are we in hotels?
Welcome to the man cave. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere in Florida for this Airbnb. We're on this property called Danville, and it's called Danville because it was created by this guy, Dan. I got to talk to him for a little bit before checking in, and he told me this is his creation.
Art is making creations, and that's what I do. All right, Drew.
But this is my home for the night, so let's check it out. First, when you walk in, there's a bookshelf filled with manly things like boats, alligators, race cars, and Jar Jar Binks. And as you walk into the living room, it just gets better and better. There's a cool bar filled with random knickknacks, lots of airplanes, an old Lightning McQueen toy. I love this place. How am I feeling, you might ask? I feel like I'm in heaven. There's just cool manly stuff everywhere in here. Next, there's the couch. It is an old couch. The couches were just made better back then. I don't know what else to say. And behind the couch is this map of everyone who has come and stayed in this Airbnb. And it's clear people have come from all over the world to stay here. Here's the kitchen. Across from the couch is your TV, a massage chair. There's a button on this remote that says 0G. What's the worst that could happen? Oh yeah. This reminds me that if you look up, there are literally motorcycles, airplanes, and bolts just hanging from the ceiling. There's all sorts of old CDs and VHS tapes. The bed is just up these stairs. It's pretty simple up here. You get your bed, but there's also an old pilot's helmet and randomly a bowling pin, plus an entire canoe. Oh, I love it here. Just by itself, this Airbnb is incredible, but that's just the beginning of what Danville is. Apparently, Dan created a whole city here on this property. So before tonight, I think it's time we go explore and see what else there is. Just a few steps outside the man cave, and you're at a farm with all sorts of animals.
There's an alpaca, tired roosters.
Did you just wake up? I don't think he likes me.
And there are plenty of goats.
What's up, dude?
I spent some time hanging out with them, and Dan himself introduced me to the newest residents of Danville.
Babies! Come on, babies!
Oh, wow. You're so small.
Come on.
Sweet.
That's a baby goat. You're gonna hold.
Oh. Dan told me these babies are only 1 week old.
What? Yeah?
Already climbing. You have a very cool life, Dan.
I'm very fortunate. He doesn't have any. Maybe Boots.
Hey, Boots.
So they don't get very big. The babies are just cute as hell.
But as we were leaving, Boots slipped and fell.
Oh, that wasn't very good.
Oh, buddy.
Boy, you need to practice that. Yeah.
But then Dan showed me some of the cars he's working on.
The seats were pink and white. There was only 20,000 of them built ever.
Dan even gave me a golf cart to explore the property.
I'm Dan, this is Drew.
Drew, nice to meet
Drew.
Hey.
Where are you guys from? We're going down to the inn to open the door. Do you want to come and watch?
He's talking about this building on his property that apparently has a really cool front door.
Okay, just follow us down.
Dan just had to go inside, push a button, and the entire front porch opened up.
Wow.
You a married couple?
No.
We do weddings here.
But the inside is incredible with tons of little storefronts.
I built it as a guest house.
How much time did this all take you to build?
About a little over 2 years. I built it all. I mean, I had a couple young guys help me. This is all common area for Airbnb.
Danny even built this fully operational bar inside.
Tough. This is tough.
What I tried to do was give you as many experiences as you could get. Like you got baby goats. We just came from the baby goats, holding baby goats. I get some negative people. Like I've had people come to the treehouse, and I try to tell them it's glamping, but I don't know that they know what glamping is. Yeah. Air conditioning and a toilet.
Yes.
That's glamping.
So originally this was an
Hey, sure.
Those projects, when I would do these things, it would be 10 hours a day, nonstop, never sit down, never do anything, just do what you gotta do.
Thanks again for the tour and showing me around, Dan.
And just like that, I was alone with one mission.
Let's go see what else there is. So there are a lot of Airbnbs here on Danville, like the Zen Den. Here there's a yurt. But here there's a concert stage. There's just so much detail behind everything. Tons of retro buses.
And I even found Dan's next project. It's like a crashed airplane site.
Where do you even get an airplane like this?
But for now, it's still under construction.
How does Dan even find all this cool stuff? And we're back. You know, this is the type of place a lot of people would just dream of doing for themselves one day. Like just getting a big plot of land and building whatever you want based on your passions. So it's really cool to see it be real. One thing I've heard Dan say a lot since I've been here is that he's not trying to make a hotel.
I am not a resort, and I'm glamping. So you have to understand, you are one level above a tent.
Right. He's trying to create an experience.
Bro,
where you
this
go to
video
a
is
farm,
restaurants
you
and
meet
hotels, bro. He
people,
just baited me, bro.
explore, and you have a great time. If you spend a night at Danville, you'll remember it for your entire life. I'm sure I will. There's no room service here, but Dan and everyone I've met have been so nice and kind. Of all the weird hotels I've been to, this has been one of my favorite experiences. So I'm giving Danville a 10 out of 10. Come on, guys.
Hang
So
on,
with
this one
that,
is
we
the
have
close
a
one.
winner. Only one place deserves George, and even though I had so much fun filming this video, there is one experience that really stood out that I will never forget.
When you get something in person, an owner, of course.
Thanks guys for watching. If you had fun, subscribe, and maybe watch another video.
Hey, I like his other videos, but that one was a little crazy, bro. But like, comment, subscribe, and I react to all this on my Twitch channel. Link in the description, and tell me what you want me to watch next, cause somebody suggested this one. I don't know about watching another one of his. It was a little all over the place for me though, but it was a good video though overall. But yeah.